Hello and welcome to another episode of the Don't Give a Rip podcast.
Got pulled over by the police for speeding.
Oh my God.
Andy, for some reason, decides he wants to flip the car. So he's there flipping this little Fiat.
And he went, Fitzy, he said, you need to retire.
No, I look back on that time in Wales was pretty remarkable period of their life.
The All Blacks are expected to win, and not only expected to win, but to do it with panache.
By the time I got offered a contract, I'd already signed for France.
We found him unconscious in someone else's tent.
Hello everyone and welcome to the third show of the My Lions Story series. In this episode, we take a look back at the 2005 Lions Tour of New Zealand with Lewis Moody and Aaron Mauger, but we begin with a man who famously had a foot in both camps. Having coached the Lions in 2001, Graham Henry was then tasked with bringing the men in red down in 2005. Looking back at the 2001 Lions Tour of Australia though, Henry reveals how it affected him on a personal level.
It just pushed me over the top, pushed me over the edge. I just learned a lot, and I think everybody has mental well-being challenges. I think has just become a reality these days that, I think we probably didn't know we had them in the prior. Yeah. And now everybody understands that mental wellness is just as important as physical wellness. And so I went through that then and had some ways of coping from that. I learned how to cope with it. Yeah. And so that was, when I got the All Blacks, that was a good thing to be able to have, have that knowledge, have those skills to keep me on the straight and narrow and keep me positive mentally. Oh, I don't think there was any point proving going on. We just wanted to play well, and it was a pretty young All Black team. And Sir Clive, he may not have been Sir Clive then, but maybe he was, I'm not sure. I was coaching them, and we had a positive relationship. He should have coached the 201 side, quite frankly, and I've said that many times. But we played well. We probably got the rub of the green a wee bit, and had a good series.
Partner in Henry's chosen skipper, Moody and Mauger, in the centres for the first two tests was Aaron Mauger, who knew just how big an occasion the tour was back in 2005, having spent some of his early playing days in Ireland.
But the streets, anywhere you went, were just littered with red jerseys, and people were singing songs. And Kiwis aren't great fans. They're pretty quiet. They sit there and they're all rugby nerds, so they just sit there and watch the game, and you've got pretty much 50,000 coaches in the stand coaching and critiquing the game. And just the noise, it's just a different level. So that type of support and the noise and the atmosphere it created, I think it taught New Zealand fans a lot. So the build up to the games was massive. The Lions had a fantastic team as well. England were in good form at the time. And the quality of that team, they just had an awesome team. Johnny Wilkinson, superstar, you had your Will Greenwoods, your Lawrence Delalios, your Martin Corries and Neil Backs, guys that have been so dominant for Leicester teams. And Ryan O'Driscoll was on top of his game at the time. I think Stephen Jones actually pushed Johnny Wilkinson out to 12 for that first test. So just the calibre they had to choose from right across the park was outstanding. So a lot of anticipation going to that first game in Christchurch. Yes, I remember it was a terrible night in Christchurch. It was pouring down, it was freezing. I remember warming up and couldn't feel my hands at the time, and I think I only touched the ball 3 or 4 times in the game. It was pretty tough going. But it was a great build up, and we just clicked that series. We played some really good footy.
Much of the blame after the 21-3 defeat in the first test was laid firmly at the door of Sir Clive Woodward. Having won the World Cup under Woodward in 2003, Lewis Moody explains what went wrong during the tour of New Zealand.
His was a business approach to that 4 years, And the difference, I think, with the Lions, and Clive had, a lot of experience with the Lions as a player as well, was that the difference was that you have a long time with that international team to prepare over 4 years for a World Cup. With the Lions, you've got weeks. You've just got a short window to bring players from different backgrounds, cultures, and thought processes together to fight for one collective goal. And I think Geach's approach, which was more laid back, it was more about the team and going out and socializing and creating some shared stories and common interests through that experience, would then make you want to play more for each other at the weekend. And I think in 2005, Clive, still had that same business style approach, which had worked so well for him in 2003, quite rightly. So put that into the 2005 preparation, and we probably didn't have the opportunity to get to know each other as players and individuals as we would have liked. We didn't share rooms on the tour after week one. So there was a few things that were missed. Whether that would have made any difference to the fact that we got beaten by New Zealand in every game quite convincingly, I probably wouldn't have done. I just think that New Zealand side were much better than we were as a Lions side at that time. But yeah, certainly the approach that worked with England didn't work with the Lions.
With the Lions in free fall after the first test, matters were made worse as a young Dan Carter took matters into his own hands to deliver a first series victory over the Lions since 1993.
Yeah, he was just fabulous, wasn't he? He played out of his skin, he was in the zone, ran the ship. And at that stage, 2005, I'm not sure what age Dan would be, probably 23, 24 maybe. He was in the peak of his powers. He was a fantastic footy player.
When he started to figure out the game, you start to see it's a little bit like the Matrix, when Neo's in the Matrix and he sees all this computer, all the encrypted code.
Yeah.
2005 was like that for Dan. He's seen it. And he's the guy dodging the bullets. And he's seen the game so clearly. And once he got there, he just had a confidence to call the game, back himself, and just go and attack and just play what he saw.
Perhaps not a memorable series if you're a Lions fan, but hopefully here at the Don't Give Her Up podcast we've been able to give you an insight into the fine margins it takes to win a test series. I've been your host Nathan Parker, and we'll be back next week looking at the 2009 tour of South Africa with the then Springbok coach Peter de Villiers and the defence coach for the Lions Sean Edwards. Until then, keep safe and we'll see you soon.